negotiating the price. Introducing Magenta Max, now with unlimited premium data that can't slow down based on how much smartphone.
This is my first live. Do not judge me. It's Sunday. I'm in the house. But basically, I got this idea because I saw somebody else doing a live, and basically the Oprah interview. This is like a live interview. I'm watching the Meghan and Harry interview with Oprah. You know, I know everybody doesn't have access, so I figured I'd come on here and let you guys hear it with me. Hopefully this is okay to do. So yeah, if you have questions, comment down below. Yeah, it's on commercial right now, but if you have questions, let me know.
Who is
Can
the
you hear?
toughest of them all?
I think there's one person in here right now. If you can hear, let me know.
My military experience.
Once I start running, I'm not stopping.
I poured concrete till I was 9 months pregnant.
Because my son is my life. And
it's my first time on live on YouTube. It's kind of cool.
Watch Wednesday, 8/7 Central on CBS.
You've said some pretty shocking things here, revealing.
I wasn't planning to say anything shocking. I'm just telling you what's happened.
Okay.
I'm sorry if it shocked you. It's been a lot.
I'm a little shocked.
It's been a lot.
How do you feel about the palace hearing you speak your truth today? Are you afraid of a backlash or their reaction?
I mean, I think I'm not going to live my life in fear. You know, I think so much of it is said with an understanding of just truth. Mm-hmm. But I think to answer your question, I don't know how they could expect that after all of this time, we would still just be silent if there is an active role that the firm is playing in perpetuating
this is juicy
falsehoods about us. That at a certain point you're going to go, but you guys, someone just tell the truth. And if that comes with risk of losing things, I mean, I've lost. There's a lot that's been lost already. And I grieve a lot. I mean, I've lost my father. I lost a baby. I nearly lost my name. I mean, there's the loss of identity, but I'm still standing. And my hope for people in the takeaway from this is to know that there's another side, to know that life is worth living.
Okay. I'm so glad you see that now. We are going to take a break, y'all. And
how many breaks they going to give?
Join us. We'll be right back with Harry.
That's what I hate about live TV.
When I asked the question, why did you leave? The simplest answer is, did you blindside the queen?
Oprah, think about Oprah. I love about Oprah. She don't play with them questions, boy. She go ask whatever she need to ask, child. We can always count on Oprah. Did you guys have an idea that she was going through all this stuff being in the castle? I figured because of her being half black that there would be some issues, and especially after the Lifetime movie that I watched about her, I feel like it was only bound to happen. But shout out to her for using her voice. I know this is not gonna be easy. Them people in the castle are probably shaking in their boots right now. This girl is speaking out, which I respect, but man, it's crazy out here. Sometimes we see like these celebrities and we're like, oh my God, look at them and their lives. But she said like a few times in the interview, she's like, she wanted to kill herself. Like she couldn't see herself living anymore. I'm like, that's kind of deep. Like, and then when she tried to seek out help, they told her that she wasn't on payroll, so they couldn't do it because she wasn't on payroll, and also because they said it would look bad on them if she went out seeking help. That's crazy. I think the craziest thing that's going to be like headlines for tomorrow about this interview is going to be about they were worried about the color of the baby's skin. Like when the baby was born, they were worried that the baby was going to come out black. Like, This is the ghetto. I'm interested to see what their response will be to this interview. It's still on commercial, y'all, but I'm gonna put the volume up because I ain't got nothing else to say. Feel free to leave a comment. I can't really see. I don't know how to see who's in here with me. It just says 4 people. But leave a comment so I can see if you're here with me chilling. If you're enjoying the interview. All right, I think they back.
On Discovery Plus, an exciting new season of interviews. Do you and Nick hope to have a family one day? Join us for Super Soul. Now on Discovery Plus.
Not back yet.
Stream what you love.
Wonderful pistachios.
No problem, girl.
Get your protein.
All right, it's still on commercial, y'all. It's still on commercial. They got about 50 commercials happening right now. You are welcome. This is my first time on YouTube Live. Don't judge me. It's Sunday. I'm in the bed. I'm actually on Clubhouse. If you guys are on Clubhouse, join the Clubhouse too. I'm on Clubhouse with this, this live. Is anybody in England right now that can't view? Somebody in Clubhouse said they couldn't view on their TV because they're in England. This is
millions in cutting edge dandruff research? No. Do we have to use the same kind
still on commercial.
Probably not.
I wonder why I can't see who's in here with me.
100%. We think about dandruff 100% of the time, so you 100% don't have to.
It's okay.
You're welcome.
Hey, Laura. She said, just got on here what I missed. Girl, it's juicy. It's getting juicy. Okay. They basically she's telling her story. She's speaking out. She's talking about how she had suicidal thoughts and how she felt like she didn't have any help. The Dominican Republic. That's why you can't view. Girl, she's spilling all the tea. Basically, she said that the Queen is very welcoming. She felt like she was with her grandmother when she was around her, which was nice. That was nice. Hold on. It's back, y'all. I'll spill y'all the tea after it's back.
Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Okay, Harry's here now. Harry's here.
Yes. I want to say, first of all, let's say congratulations for the new addition to your family. Meghan said she wanted to wait until you were here to tell us, is it a boy or is it a girl?
Oh, is she pregnant again?
No, good for her.
No.
It's a girl.
I didn't know she was pregnant again.
You're going to have a daughter. Wow, girl. You realize that and saw it on the ultrasound. What?
Yo, shout out to Casey from Arkansas.
Amazing. Just grateful.
Yeah, y'all are more than welcome to stay.
Any one or any two would have been amazing.
Let me put the volume up.
A boy and then a girl. What more can you ask for? But now we've got our family. We got
y'all can hear, right?
Our 2 dogs and
Done.
It's great.
Done. 2 is it?
Done.
2 is it.
2 is it.
2 is it.
And when's the baby due?
It's summertime.
This summertime.
Yeah.
The baby's due in the summer.
So you all have been living in sunny California now for
since March.
Since March. Okay.
The pandemic.
In late 2019, Prince Harry and Meghan left the UK and moved to Canada. The couple says they chose Canada, a Commonwealth of Britain, with the intention of continuing to serve the Queen. After their move, Harry and Meghan say security, normally provided by the royal family, was cut off. By March 2020, just days before the COVID lockdown began, Meghan, Harry, and Archie relocated to Los Angeles, where media mogul Tyler Perry offered them his home as a temporary refuge.
Okay, Tyler.
Provided security. 3 months later, they bought their own home and settled in the Santa Barbara area.
Damn, Tyler Perry's a real one, yo.
Last spring, the Duke and Duchess of Sussex created their own foundation and media content company called Archwell. And so you stayed at Tyler Perry's house for several months.
I did not know
Yeah, because
that.
we didn't have a plan. We needed a house, and he offered his security as well. So it gave us breathing room to try to figure out what we were going to do.
Wow.
The biggest concern was that while we were in Canada in someone else's house, I then got told short notice that security was going to be removed. By this point, courtesy of the Daily Mail, the world knew our exact location. So suddenly it dawned on me, hang on a second, the borders could be closed. We're going to have our security removed. Who knows how long lockdown's going to be? The world knows where we are. It's not safe. It's not secure. We probably need to get out of here.
So what security did you have at the time that was going to be removed?
We had our UK security.
So you got word from overseas that we're taking away your security. Why were they doing that?
Oprah, you know why.
Justification is a change in status. Of which I pushed back and said, well, is there a change of threat or risk? And after many weeks of waiting, eventually I got the confirmation that no, the risk and threat hasn't changed, but due to our change of status, which we would no longer be official working members of the royal family, though obviously what we proposed was sort of part-time, or at least as much as we could do without being fully consumed because of, I think, what most of you guys have covered already.
But we actually didn't talk about that it's been so spun in the wrong direction. As though we quit, we walked away. All the conversations of the 2 years before we finally announced it.
In January 2020, Prince Harry and Meghan announced they would step back as senior members of the royal family.
The swiftness with which they've taken this decision, only 18 months after they got married, has taken everyone by surprise, from the Queen all the way down.
The bombshell news sparked a worldwide media frenzy, dubbed Megxit by the British press. Many reporters and viral posts blamed Meghan for the decision.
Meghan knew what she was signing up for.
Oh, she's being eviscerated.
Harry, how are the discussions going on your future?
In an official statement, Queen Elizabeth said, although we would have preferred them to remain full-time working members of the royal family, we respect and understand their wish to live a more independent life as a family while remaining a valued part of my family. Okay, let me ask the question.
Yeah.
So over a year ago, you shocked the world. You announced that you were stepping back as senior members of the royal family. And then the media reported that you had blindsided the Queen, your grandmother. So here's a time to set the record straight. What was the tipping point that made you decide you had to leave?
Yeah, it was desperate. I went to all the places which I thought I should go to ask for help. We both did, separately and together.
So you left because you were asking for help and couldn't get it?
Yeah, basically. But we never left.
We never left the family, and we only wanted to have the same type of role that exists, right? There's senior members of the family, and then there are non-senior members. As we said specifically, we're stepping back from senior roles to be just like several, I can think of so many right now who are all their royal highnesses, prince or princess, duke or duchess, who earn a living, live on palace grounds, can support the Queen if and when called upon. So we weren't reinventing the wheel here. We were saying, okay, but if this isn't working for everyone, we're in a lot of pain. You can't provide us with the help that we need. We can just take a step back. We can do it in a Commonwealth country. We had suggested New Zealand, South Africa,
Take a breath.
Canada.
Yeah. And you wanted to take a breath from what specifically? Let's be clear.
From this constant barrage. My biggest concern was history repeating itself. And I've said that before, on numerous occasions, very publicly. And what I was seeing was history repeating itself, but more perhaps, or definitely far more dangerous, because then you add race in and you add social media in. And when I'm talking about history repeating itself, I'm talking about my mother.
Wow.
When you can see something happening in the same kind of way, anybody would ask for help, ask the system of which you are part of, especially when you know there's a relationship there that they could help and share some truth or call the dogs off, whatever you want to call it. So to receive no help at all and to be told continuously, this is how it is. This is just how it is. We've all been through it. And I think the biggest turning point for me was and it didn't take very long, so actually right at the beginning was, okay, this union, having a girlfriend was going to be a thing. Of course it was. But I never expected, or I never thought...
Because she was mixed race?
No, just the two of us to start with. I hadn't really thought about the mixed race piece because I thought, well, firstly, I've spent many years doing the work and doing my own learning. But my upbringing and the system of which I was brought up in and what I've been exposed to, I wasn't aware of it to start with. But my God, it doesn't take very long to suddenly become aware of it.
Yeah, because you said you really weren't aware of unconscious bias and what that represents until you met Meg.
Yeah, sad as it is to say, it takes living in her shoes in this instance for a day or those first 8 days to see where it was going to go and how far they were going to take it.
And get away with it.
And be so blatant about it. That's the bit that shocked me. We're talking about the UK press here, right? And the UK is my home. That is where I was brought up. So yes, I've got my own relationship that goes back a long way with the media. I asked for calm from the British tabloids once as a boyfriend, once as a husband, and then once as a father.
So when I asked the question, why did you leave? The simplest answer is
Jesus. That was a
lack of support and lack of understanding.
So I want clarity. Was the move about getting away from the UK press, because the press is everywhere, or was the move because you weren't getting enough support from the firm?
It was both.
Both.
Yeah.
Did you blindside the Queen?
No. I've never blindsided my grandmother. I have too much respect for her.
So where did that story come from?
I hazard a guess that it probably could have come from within the institution.
So I remember when you talked to her several times about this over
2 years.
2 years, but even the night before, days before, with the statement coming out, I remember that conversation.
So, and how do you know she wasn't blindsided? Because the way it was presented through the press is that suddenly you made this announcement, she didn't know it was coming.
No, when we were in Canada, I had 3 conversations with my grandmother and 2 conversations with my father before he stopped taking my calls. And then said, can you put this all in writing, what your plan is?
Your father asked you to put it in writing?
Yeah, he asked me to put it in writing. I put all the specifics in there, even the fact that we were planning on putting the announcement out on the 7th of January.
So you just said that your dad stopped taking your calls. Why did he stop taking your calls?
Because I took matters by that point, I took matters into my own hands. It was like, I need to do this for my family. This is not a surprise to anybody. It's really sad that it's got to this point, but I've got to do something for my own mental health, for my wife's, and for Archie's as well, because I could see where this was headed.
I think what we really have got to clear up here is that you, Meghan, are the one who manipulated, calculated this Megxit. Yeah.
All right, so it's a commercial. What are y'all thoughts so far? This is crazy. I feel like there's a lot that I didn't know, like the dad not answering his calls, and it's the ghetto. It's crazy. I feel bad for them because, yeah, I don't think anybody had any idea of like the extent of what they were going through. I think it's, yeah. And I don't think, for me, I didn't realize how much the media has a big impact, on their lives, especially with the situation with their mother and how the mom died. But this is a lot. And Oprah, I love Oprah because Oprah's asking all the right questions. Kawana said, damn, for real. I can't believe Charles stopped answering him. Right. The royal family is a hot mess. I mean, they're just like every other family, right? They have their drama and stuff, but I don't know. I thought her having a baby would have changed the dynamics of the relationship in the family. I feel like babies tend to do that. Like if there is drama in the family and a baby's being born, people can put that aside for the child, but I guess not. What do you guys feel like has been the most shocking thing that you've heard so far? Have you watched The Crown? No, I have not watched it. It's on Netflix, right? I haven't watched that. I probably should after this interview. Not tonight, though. Not tonight. I'm about to start season 4. Girl. Oh, y'all got playing. Y'all really into this. She said, yes, girl, you have to. You know, I will. I will. Only thing I'll say that I watched, it was the Lifetime movie. I missed the first hour, but Charles' thing got me. Yeah, the first hour of this interview, honestly, she was just expressing herself. She was just saying how she was in a dark place. She really, felt alone, even though she had Harry, Lord Jesus. Even though she had him, she felt alone, right? She felt like, not herself. And the person that she said she worked since she was like 13 or something like that. And she's not used to not working or providing for herself. She's very independent, always outspoken, always speaking, advocating for women to have voices. So this is the first time in her life she felt like she didn't have a voice. Okay, it's back. It's back.
CBS.
It's not a problem you can keep ignoring. This is not what we're about in America.
No, it's not bad.
Is fighting to be.
I missed the first hour. Okay, I think it's about to come back. I'll just put it down.
Your New England Toyota dealer is your all-wheel drive headquarters with 15 different all-wheel drive or four-wheel drive models.
Let me see. I said the most shocking thing. I think when I heard about the baby, they were worried about the baby's color, the baby coming out too black. That shocked me. And then the story about Kate. So I guess there was a story earlier in the marriage when they were planning the wedding that Meghan made Kate cry, and it actually was Kate that made Meghan cry. So they tried to put this narrative that, Meghan was like aggressive and mean and all that stuff. But I feel like in reality, she wasn't. So that was another shocking thing. What else did she say? She said, I didn't know the suicide thing was while she was pregnant. That was another shocking thing. She wanted to kill herself. Yeah, girl. Yeah. She had a lot to say, but I think hearing her husband speak is going to be interesting because that's his family, But it seems like he's not holding back, that means he's fed up. Do you guys feel like they were right to leave the castle and move to Canada like they did? I think that was smart of them, to be honest. Okay, I think it's back.
Not said that for so long. It just feels really
To have been silent all this time.
Yeah.
3.5, 4 years, or longer actually.
But we were saying, gosh, it must have been years ago. We were sitting in Nottingham. I was sitting in Nottingham Cottage, and The Little Mermaid came on.
Casey, I agree with you, girl.
Little Mermaid, but it came on. I was like, well, I'm just here all the time, so may as well watch this. And I went, oh my God. She falls in love with the prince, and because of that, she has to lose her voice. But by the end, she gets her voice back.
And this is what happened here. You feel like you got your voice back. So you're stepping back out of frustration and you just need to get out. And, you heard Meghan share with us all the moment that she came to you, had the courage enough to say out loud, I don't want to live anymore. And you didn't know what to do.
I had no idea what to do. I wasn't prepared for that. I went to a very dark place as well, but I wanted to be there for her.
And also, we didn't leave right terrified. In that moment, right? Yeah. We still, that's almost a year after.
So did you tell other people in the family, I need to get help for her? We need help for her?
That's just not a conversation that would be had.
Why?
I guess I was ashamed of admitting it to them.
Oh.
And I don't know whether they've had the same feelings or thoughts. I have no idea. It's a very trapping environment that a lot of them are stuck in.
You were ashamed of admitting that Meghan needed help.
Yeah. I didn't have anyone to turn to. We've got some very close friends that have been with us through this whole process. But for the family, they very much have this mentality of, this is just how it is. This is how it's meant to be. You can't change it. We've all been through it.
We've all been through the pressure. We've all been through being
but what was different
exploited.
What was different for me was the race element, because now it wasn't just about her, but it was about what she represents. And therefore it wasn't just affecting my wife, it was affecting so many other people as well. And that was the trigger for me to really engage in those conversations with senior palace staff and with my family to say, guys, this is not going to end well.
And when you say end well, what did you mean?
For anyone, it's not going to end well. Because the way that I saw it was, there is a way of doing things, but for us, for this union and the specifics around her race, there was an opportunity, many opportunities, for my family to show some public support. And I guess one of the most telling parts, the saddest parts, I guess, was over 70 members of parliament, female members of parliament, both Conservative and Labour, came out and called out the colonial undertones of articles and headlines written about Meghan. Yet no one from my family ever said anything over those 3 years. That hurts. But I also am acutely aware of where my family stand and how scared they are of the tabloids turning on them.
Turning on them for what? They're the royal family.
Yes, but it's there is this invisible, what's termed or referred to as the invisible contract behind closed doors between the institution and the tabloids, UK tabloids.
How so?
Well, it is to simplify it. It's a case of if you as a family member are willing to wine, dine, and give full access to these reporters, then you will get better press.
What do you care about better press if you're royal?
I think everyone needs to have some compassion for them in that situation, right? There is a level of control by fear that has existed for generations. I mean,
but who's controlling whom? It's the institution. From our point of view, just the public. But
the institution survives based on that perception.
So you're saying there's this relationship that Meghan was speaking of. It's like symbiotic. One lives or thrives because the other exists. That's what you're saying.
That's the idea.
Well, and so I think there's a reason that these tabloids have holiday parties at the palace. They're hosted by the palace. The tabloids are. There is a construct that's at play there. And because from the beginning of our relationship, they were so attacking and inciting so much racism, really. I mean, it changed the risk level because it wasn't just catty gossip. It was bringing out a part of people that was racist and how it was charged. And that changed the threat, that changed the level of death threats, that changed everything.
So tell me this. You said a moment ago, it hurts that your family has never acknowledged the role that racism played in here. Did you think she was well received in the beginning?
Yes, far better than I expected. But, my grandmother has been amazing throughout. My father, my brother, Kate, and all the rest of the family, they were really welcoming. But it really changed after the Australia tour, after our South Pacific tour.
That's when we announced we were pregnant with Archie. That was our first tour.
But it was also the first time that the family got to see how incredible she is at the job. And that brought back memories.
I'm thinking because I watched The Crown. Okay, I watched The Crown. Do you all watch The Crown?
Oprah watched The Crown, y'all.
Watch some of it. We've watched some of it.
We've watched some of it.
But there's this, I think it was a fourth season, actually.
Fourth season? I need to watch
Australian tour. So is that what you're talking about? It brought back memories of that? The Australian tour where your father and your mother went there and your mother was bedazzling. So are you saying that there were hints of jealousy?
Look, I just wish that we would all learn from the past. But to see how effortless it was for Meghan to come into the family so quickly in Australia and across New Zealand, Fiji, and Tonga, and just be able to connect with people in such a... No, I know. But it's...
Why? I mean, why wouldn't everybody love that? Isn't that what you want? You want her to come into the family and to, as the Queen said at one point, the way that Meghan had basically, not her words, but assimilated into the family.
Yeah, I think, as we talked about, she was very much welcomed into the family, not just by the family, but by the world, certainly by the Commonwealth. Mm-hmm. I mean, here you have one of the greatest assets to the Commonwealth that the family could have ever wished for.
I just can't, I'm kind of going back to this. So then you're in Canada because you had stepped back. Your firm says you're no longer going to have protection. So did you ask for that? Because were you trying to have it both ways? You wanted to step back, but also keep your foot in royal business, it seems.
It's interesting that you talk about it being, have it both ways. On the security element, I never thought that I would have my security removed because I was born into this position. I inherited the risk. Mm-hmm. So that was a shock to me. That was what completely changed the whole plan.
So that you, as Prince Harry, are going to have your security removed.
Yeah, and I even wrote letters to his family saying, please, it's very clear the protection of me or Archie is not a priority. I accept that. That is fine. Please keep my husband safe. I see the death threats. I see the racist propaganda. Please keep him safe. Please don't pull his security and announce to the world when he and we are most vulnerable. And they said it's just not possible.
That's crazy.
I think what we really have got to clear up here is because one of the stories that continues to live either through rumors or social media out in the world is that you, Meghan, are the one who manipulated, calculated, and are responsible for this Megxit.
Oh my gosh. It's amazing how they can use Meg for everything.
Yes. There are even stories that you knew all along that this was going to happen. You went through the whole process and it was all intentional to build your brand.
Can you imagine how little sense that makes? I left my career, my life. I left everything because I love him, right? And our plan was to do this forever.
Yes. Yeah, for us.
Our plan for me, I mean, I wrote letters to his family when I got there saying, I am dedicated to this. I'm here for you. Use me as you'd like. There was no guidance as well, right? Mm-hmm. There were certain things that you couldn't do, but unlike what you see in the movies, there's no class on how to speak, how to cross your legs, how to be royal. There's none of that training. That might exist for other members of the family. That was not something that was offered to me.
So nobody tells you anything?
No.
Nobody prepares you?
No, but even down to like the national anthem. No one thought to say, oh, you're American. You're not going to know that. That's me late at night Googling, what's the national, I've got to learn this. I don't want to embarrass them. I need to learn these 30 hymns for a church.
That's
all of
crazy.
This is televised. We were doing the training behind the scenes because I just wanted to make them proud.
Okay, but here's the question. Do you think you would have left or ever stepped back were it not for Meghan?
No, the answer to your question is no.
You would not have.
I wouldn't have been able to because I myself was trapped as well. I didn't see a way out. You felt
trapped? You were trapped?
Yeah, I didn't see a way out.
But you'd had this life your whole life. This has been your life your whole life.
Yeah, but I was trapped, but I didn't know I was trapped. But the moment that I met Meg, and then our worlds sort of collided in the most amazing of ways. And then to see how
Please explain how you, Prince Harry, raised in a palace, in a life of privilege,
Oprah,
literally a prince, how you were trapped.
Trapped within the system.
What?
Like the rest of my family are. My father and my brother, they are trapped. They don't get to leave. And I have huge compassion for that.
Well, okay, so the impression of the world, maybe it's a false impression, is that for all these years before Meghan, you were living your life as a royal Prince Harry, the beloved Prince Harry, and that you were enjoying that life. We don't get the impression that you were feeling trapped in that life.
Oprah's
Enjoying the
good.
life because there were photographs of me smiling while I was shaking hands and meeting people. Like, I'm sure you guys have covered some of that. That's a part of the job. That's a part of the role. That's what's expected. No matter who you are in the family, no matter what's going on in your personal life, no matter what's just happened, if the bikes roll up and the car rolls up, you got to get dressed, you got to get in there, you wipe the tears away, shake off whatever you're thinking about, and you got to be on your A game.
What do you think your mom would say about this stepping back, this decision to step back from the royal family? How would she feel about this moment?
I think she would feel very angry with how this has panned out and very sad. But ultimately, all she'd ever want is for us to be happy.
Meghan shared with us that there was a conversation with you about Archie's skin tone. What was that conversation?
Y'all, it's getting so juicy. Yo, I love Oprah because she knows what to ask. She knows how to get in deep. Like, I don't think he realized what he said, the whole trap situation. I don't even agree with him being trapped. I don't know. Let me read what y'all had said. She said, I saw something on Twitter about the passport. I saw something about the passport on Twitter. What passport? Yes, or Meghan would have ended up as Diana. Yeah, basically saying she was gonna die. Yeah. I think that was smart too, but we didn't know the cost yet. Right. Right. I agree with y'all. This is a lot. I'm over here like, wait, what? I think they left the juiciest part for the end, and that's when they're gonna talk about the child's complexion and the conversation that was had. I think that his brother and his father are gonna be pissed when they hear the trap part, because nobody wants to hear that they trapped. Like, it's not. She said that they Megan's passport. What happened with her passport, Laura? I didn't hear anything about her passport or something happened. I don't know. Am I the only one that's confused about the passport? Hey y'all, don't be afraid to leave a comment down below if you're enjoying this. I know everybody doesn't have access to the interview, so I figure I'd come on here and let you guys listen with me. Yo, for real. I don't know. I really don't know what the palace is gonna say, but the stuff they were saying beforehand is something about like Meghan was being mean to. She was emailing people too early in the morning. Like, they were just coming out with crazy stuff before this interview even came out. So you already know after this interview, it's gonna be crazy. Okay, I think they're back. Hold on.
CBS.
Over 45 million fans have made The Equalizer America's favorite new show.
Why they ever want to push a black woman?
That bike is mine. Sorry, baby. It don't come with training wheels.
When they ain't giving, I had to take my turn. Give me that.
I know that look.
I found a way to watch it there. I came back to see what you have to say. They've been spending let's see all like yes, MJ. I don't know why every time they do that little commercial where Oprah talks and I think it's about to start, but it doesn't. I love that you came back just to hear what I have to say, child, because it's so juicy. It's so good. Grandma will be the most pissed, I guess. She might be. She might be. But you know what? I feel like the queen be unbothered. I don't feel like she be. I feel like it's the people around her that probably be hyping her up. This is gonna get good. I'm excited to see how this ends. But what really shocked me is that Tyler Perry opened up his home to them. Like they had a relationship before. I didn't. That's weird. Like I didn't know. Like Tyler Perry opened up his home and his security. Well, Tyler Perry also is a billionaire, so he probably has that top notch security. But I definitely didn't know they were staying with Tyler Perry. I don't know if they said it in the first part, but when she got to the palace, they took her driver's license, keys, and passport. No, they did not. You know what? You're right, because she said in the interview that there was months, like within 4 months, she only left the house twice. So basically, she was saying that we could relate to her. She was basically in quarantine, y'all. You see how we in quarantine right now with the pandemic, right? Okay, it's back. It's back.
You wanted freedom to make deals with Netflix and Spotify, but you also wanted to serve the Queen.
Sure, we didn't want to give up, or we didn't want to turn our backs on the associations and the people that we've been supporting.
But also, Oprah, it exists.
Yeah, but it exists. But also the Netflix and the Spotify of it all. That was never part of the plan.
Yeah,
Because you didn't have a plan.
We didn't have a plan. That was suggested by somebody else. By the point where my family literally cut me off financially, and I had to afford security for us.
Wait, hold up, wait a minute. Your family cut you off?
Yeah, in the first quarter of 2020. But I've got what my mum left me, and without that, we would not have been able to do this.
Okay.
So, touching back on what you're asking for, my mum,
they took away his money.
I think she saw it coming, and I certainly felt her presence throughout this whole process. And for me, I'm just really relieved and happy to be sitting here talking to you with my wife by my side. Because I can't begin to imagine what it must have been like for her going through this process by herself all those years ago, because it has been unbelievably tough for the two of us, but at least we had each other.
What's your relationship like now with your family?
I've spoken to more to my grandmother in the last year than I have done for many, many years.
Do you all Zoom calls?
We did a couple of Zoom calls with Archie.
Yes, I could see Archie.
Yeah.
My grandmother and I have a really good relationship and an understanding, and I have a deep respect for her. She's my colonel-in-chief, right? She always will be.
Your relationship with your father? Is he taking your calls now?
Yeah. He is. There's a lot to work through there. I feel really let down because he's been through something similar. He knows what pain feels like, and Archie's his grandson. But at the same time, of course, I will always love him. But there's a lot of hurt that's happened, and I will continue to make it one of my priorities to try and heal that relationship. But they only know what they know, and that's the thing. I've tried to,
or what they're told,
and I've tried to educate them through the process that I have been educated.
Because is it like being in a big royal bubble?
Yeah.
And your brother relationship?
Me too. I love the Queen.
Much has been said about that.
Yeah, and much will continue to be said about that. As I've said before, I love William to bits. He's my brother. We've been through hell together, and we have a shared experience. But we were on different paths.
Well, what is particularly striking is what Meghan shared with us earlier, is that no one wants to admit that there's anything about race, or that race has played a role in the trolling and the vitriol.
Okay, real bad.
Meghan shared with us that there was a conversation with you about Archie's skin tone. What was that conversation?
I don't care for the brother either.
Conversation I'm never going to share. But at the time...
Oh, he said he's not going to share the
awkward.
conversation.
I was a bit shocked.
Can you tell us what the question was?
No, I'm not comfortable sharing that.
Okay.
But that was right at the beginning, right?
Like, what will the baby look like?
Yeah, what will the kids look like?
Yeah, what will the kids look like?
But that was right at the beginning when she wasn't going to get security, when members of my family were suggesting that she carries on acting because there's not enough money to pay for her and all this sort of stuff. Like, there was some real obvious signs before we even got married that this was going to be really hard.
So in conclusion, if you'd had the support, you'd still be there?
Without question.
Yeah.
I'm sad that what's happened has happened, but I know and I'm comfortable knowing that we did everything that we could to make it work, and we did everything on the exit process the way that it should have been
with
done.
as much respect.
With as much
and
respect.
Oh my God, we just did everything we could to protect them.
So what do you say to the people who say that you came here, you made these multi-million-dollar deals, and that you were just money-grabbing royals?
First off, this was never the intention.
Yeah.
And we're certainly not complaining. Our life is great now. We've got a beautiful house. I've got a beautiful family. The dogs are really happy. But at the time, during COVID, the suggestion by a friend was, what about streamers?
Yeah, we genuinely hadn't thought of it.
I never thought about it. So there was all sorts of different options. And look, from my perspective, all I needed was enough money to be able to pay for security, to keep my family safe.
How will you use Archwell as a means of speaking to things that are important to you in the world?
Yeah.
I think in creating, life is about storytelling, right? About the stories we tell ourselves, the stories we're told, what we buy into, and for us to be able to have storytelling through a truthful lens that hopefully is uplifting, it's going to be great. Knowing how many people that can land with, and being able to give a voice to a lot of people that are underrepresented and aren't really heard.
Any regrets?
Y'all, he didn't even want to tell us the conversation was about this complexion, and that's what I really wanted to hear. She said, "I love the queen. I love the queen too. She seems unbothered. Like I said, his daddy's gonna be real mad. Exactly, big mad. We know he's gonna be mad. It is what it is. And obviously, the brother and him are not close like that. But he's gonna love his brother at the end of the day. Charles can suck a dick. Period. I agree with you. Archie, growing up watching this interview, cringe. I would be cringing. I don't know. I think hopefully Archie understands, like, they did what they had to do. It just sucks that he's not going to grow up, in his father, the same way his father kind of grew up in that royal lifestyle. But I think he's better off this way than in that, because I don't think they would have let Archie embrace all of him. Like, he's his whiteness and also his blackness. Like, I feel like I don't know. It's the ghetto. It's definitely the ghetto. But I'm glad they're doing this. I'm glad they're speaking out. For the people who saying that they're money hungry, like, at the end of the day, they have to eat. Like, they got to make a living. Their security is pulled away. It's a pandemic. They basically lost their jobs like all of us did in the pandemic. And that's not funny because, you know what I'm saying, but they couldn't get unemployment. Basically, at that point, they got cut off and they had to figure it out. I don't think they're money hungry. I think they need to survive. What are you going to do if you lost your job? You know what I'm saying? Like, you lost your security. She said, I want to know more about the conversation too. Right. But I think it was probably so bad that I don't know. I feel like if he told us, the tabloids, I don't know. This, you could tell he still loves his family. Like, he still wants to protect them. Because if not, he would have just gave us those details. He probably would have pulled out receipts and recordings. She said exactly right. Yo, shout out to y'all for really watching this with me. This is really good. Let me see how much left is in the interview. It's supposed to be 2 hours, so this probably. Oh, it's almost done. The last question is probably going to be, do you have any regrets? What did Meghan say earlier about the race conversation? What do you mean? She mentioned the. What did she say? Like as far as racism when she first got to the castle and stuff? I don't feel like she mentioned. I don't know if I missed that part about racism. I don't remember her mentioning a lot. Archie's race. Okay, so she's the one that mentioned that hold on, I think it's back, y'all. Hold up. You know they'd be giving these.
I woke up earlier than H and saw a note from someone in our team in the UK saying that the Duke of Edinburgh had gone to the hospital.
Yeah.
But I just picked up the phone and I called the Queen just to check in.
You check in.
Just like I would. That's what we do. It's like being able to default to not having to every moment go, is that appropriate?
Yeah.
For so many of my family, what they do is there's a level of control in it, right?
Yeah.
Because they're fearful of what the papers are going to say about them.
Yeah.
Whereas with us, it was just like, just be yourself, just be genuine, just be authentic, just go and do what. Well, listen, if you get it wrong, you get it wrong. If you get it right, you get it right.
On February 19th, 2021, Buckingham Palace released a statement announcing it was agreed that Prince Harry and Meghan would not return as working members of the royal family. Harry and Meghan's royal patronages and Prince Harry's honorary military titles would be returned to the Queen. The Queen's statement was released after our interview took place.
Your exit agreement with the royal family, that is coming up at the end of this month.
The decision is.
Yes.
I think that,
that's what she said.
As of last week or whatever it was, is that they will be removing everything.
Are you hurt by that decision?
I am hurt, but at the same time, I completely respect my grandmother's decision. I would still love for us to be able to continue to support those associations, albeit without the title or the role.
Could you be as satisfied now doing this through your own organization, Archwell?
Well, this is what we're doing, right? Yeah. We're still doing it. Yeah. We're still going to always do the work. But I also think it's important for you or everyone to know this decision that was made about patronages and all of that was before anyone knew that we were sitting down with you.
Yeah.
I think that I can only imagine that
I heard a story that you're getting punished now. Those were being taken away because you did sit down with me.
Yeah, but that was, those letters, those conversations, that was finalized before anyone even knew that we were going to sit down. So that's just not true.
All right. Yeah. Tell me this, Harry. What delights you now in your everyday experience and the things that you actually cherished in your life here with Archie and Meghan?
This year has been crazy for everybody. But to have outdoor space where I can go for walks with Archie and we can go for walks as a family and with the dogs and be able to go to the hikes or go down to the beach, which is so close. All of these things are just, I guess the highlight for me is sticking him on the back of the bicycle in his little baby seat and taking him on these bike rides is something which I never was able to do when I was young. I can see him on the back and he's got his arms out and he's like, whoa, chatting, going palm tree, house, and all this sort of stuff. And I think to myself,
what's his new favorite word? What's his favorite word now?
Oh my gosh, he's on a roll. In the past couple of weeks, it has been hydrate, which is just hysterical.
But also whenever anyone leaves the house, he's like, drive safe.
Drive safe.
which is really sweet.
But it's not even 2 yet.
You said that your brother was trapped. You said that you love your brother and always will love your brother. You didn't tell me what the relationship is now, though.
The relationship is space at the moment. And, time heals all things, hopefully.
Any regrets?
No, I think we've done, I'm really proud of us, I'm so proud of my wife. Like, she safely delivered Archie during a period of time which was so cruel and so mean. And every single day I was coming back from work from London, I was coming back to my wife crying while breastfeeding Archie. That's coming from someone who wasn't reading anything. And as she touched on earlier, if she had read anything, she wouldn't be here now. So we did what we had to do. And now we've got another little one on the way.
I have one. My regret is believing them when they said I would be protected. I believed that. And I regret believing that, because I think had I really seen that that wasn't happening, I would have been able to do more. But I think I wasn't supposed to see it. I wasn't supposed to know. And now, because we're actually on the other side, we've actually not just survived, but are thriving. You know, just miracles. I think that all of those things that I was hoping for have happened. And this is, in some ways, just the beginning for us. You know, we've been through a lot. It's felt like a lifetime. A lifetime.
So your story with the prince does have a happy ending.
It does.
Yeah.
Aww.
It really did.
It has a happy ending because you made it so.
Yeah, greater than any fairy tale you've ever read. Yeah.
Greater than any fairy tale. What you've described here today, being trapped and not even being aware of it, and all the things that had transpired, and then she comes into your life, and then you're doing therapy. Do you think in some way she saved you?
Damn. That's a good question.
Yeah, without question. There was a bigger purpose. There was other forces at play, I think, throughout this whole process. I'm the last person to think, ooh,
yeah.
You know? But it's undeniable when these things have happened, where the overlap is. So, yeah, she did, without question, she saved me.
I think that's lovely. I would disagree. I think he saved all of us. Right? He ultimately called it and was like, we've got to find a way for us, for Archie. And you made a decision that certainly saved my life. And saved all of us. But, you know, you need to want to be saved.
Well, thank you for sharing your love story. We can't wait for the big day sometime this summer.
Yes, indeed.
Sometime this summer.
Yeah.
Thank you both for trusting me to share your story.
Thank you for giving us the space to do it.
Yeah, thank you.
Oh
this
my
conversation doesn't end here. There was so much more that we couldn't fit into this special. Join me tomorrow as I share more exclusive moments and discuss reaction around the world with Gail, Anthony, and Tony on CBS This Morning. See you then.
Y'all. So basically, he don't rock with his brother. Let me get out of here. He don't rock with his brother. He don't really rock with nobody but the queen. That's what I got from it. He don't rock with nobody but the queen. I appreciate you guys. 20 people in here. Y'all make sure y'all hit the subscribe button. I will come on live more often. I don't normally do lives, but today I figured I'd come in. I'm so excited to see the family's reaction tomorrow. I know maybe I'll come on later on in this week and talk about the family's reaction and what the news about to be looking like, y'all. But it was good. I'm glad they did it. I'm glad that he's, making this decision for himself. But I feel like this is just the beginning. Like, there's going to be stuff that comes out that we're not going to know about. But yeah, make sure you guys hit the subscribe button. Thanks for watching with me. If you guys want to see more lives, reactions, and things like that, let me know. Leave a comment. I appreciate you guys. MJ, Christy, Kawana, Lauren. You guys are amazing. Thank you for staying with me. Yes, I'm going to end the stream, but you guys have a great night. Thank you for spending your Sunday evening with me. Thank you. Subscribe to my channel. Bye, y'all.